Welcome back to another installment of Mainstream Current. I'm Drew Hoagland, and today we're going to be talking about November's Maine ballot and what we can expect to be voting on come this November. And there's a lot. We're voting on a lot. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to try to make these videos shorter. I'm going to try. I'm trying. So, other than the president, obviously we have presidential elections in November, but beyond the elections, and I can't speak for how many other states are dealing with the same kind of thing. I'm sure it's all very similar in many states. I'm not that well versed in other state politics, and to this video it wasn't relevant, so I didn't research into it. And I am trying to keep you up to date with the research, so as I become aware of it, you become aware of it, and then we can grow together. And people that are just hopping on can go back to the original videos and watch those through and fact check the entire time on your own. So, in November, this November 2024, we have the U.S. Senate. One of Maine's 2 Senate seats will be up for election. Incumbent independent Senator Angus King is expected to run for re-election. U.S. House of Representatives. Both of Maine's congressional districts will have elections for their House of Representatives. More on both of those in just a moment. Maine State Legislature. All seats in both the Maine Senate, which is 35 seats, and the Maine House of Representatives, which is 151 seats, will be on the ballot. Local races. Depending on your locality, there will also be elections for county officials such as sheriff, district attorneys, and county commissioners, among others. So that's all going to be up to where you live, district-wise, city-wise. And if there's somebody or a group that you would like me to focus on, go ahead and leave that in the comments down below, because I would love to look into it and just get a deeper understanding for the entire state of Maine, maybe an area that I wouldn't have otherwise looked at for a while. So if you have any ideas or if you would like a deep dive, go ahead and let me know. Then, of course, judicial and municipal elections. In some areas, there could even be votes on judicial candidates, as well as municipal positions like town council members or school board representatives. All of that, plus the president, as we mentioned, and we also have the referendum questions, which back in July 30th of this year, the Augusta or Maine government released the order of the questions, what they would be, and the order in which they would fall. So we have question 1, an act to limit contributions to political action committees that make independent expenditures. Do you want to set a $5,000 limit for giving to political action committees that spend money independently to support or defeat candidates for office? And these are always a mouthful, so I had to read that one a couple times, and off the cuff, I'm going to do more research and I'm going to keep you along with it. But again, it's a mouthful. So it does sound like a good thing. Do you want to set a $5,000 limit for giving to political action committees that spend money independently to support or defeat candidates for office? So that sounds to me, if I'm a private donor, I cannot give more than $5,000 to a specific candidate for that candidate to then use independently to support or defeat people in office. If that's what it means, then yes, I agree. If I'm misunderstanding it, let me know down below so I can correct myself in the next video. Because I'm going to go over all of November's ballot, but we're not going to get into really any of it in this video. In coming videos, we'll dig deep into all of it. Question 2. An act to authorize a general fund bond issue for research and development and commercialization. Do you favor a bond issue of $25 million to provide funds to be awarded through a competitive process and to leverage matching private and federal funds on at least a one-to-one basis? For research and development and commercialization for Maine-based public and private institutions in support of technological innovations in the targeted sector of life sciences, and biomedical technology, environmental and renewable energy technologies, information technology, advanced techniques for forestry and agriculture, aquaculture and marine technology, composites and advanced material and precision manufacturing. What the fuck did I just read? I'm gonna need to come back to that one. Question 3. An act to authorize a general fund bond issued to restore historic community buildings. Do you favor a $10 million bond issued to restore historic buildings owned by governmental and non-profit organizations, with funds being issued contingent on a 25% local match requirement from either private or non-profit sources? There's a lot that I want to say on that, but we're not digging into it. Question 4. An act to authorize a general fund bond issued to promote the design, development, and maintenance of trails for outdoor recreation and activity transportation. Do you favor $30 million bond to issue to invest in the design, development, and maintenance for non-motorized, motorized, and multi-use trails statewide, to be matched by at least $3 million in private and public contributions? That's a lot of money. What are we doing to these trails? That is a lot of money. And right now, we're worrying about getting through this next winter. It's hard to imagine $30 million that we'll pay in taxes additionally in the coming years. That's a tough one. We'll get back to it. Rounding up the referendum questions, we have question 5. An act to restore the former state of Maine flag. Do you favor making the former state flag, replaced as the official flag of the state in 1909 and commonly known as the pine tree flag, the official flag of the state? Now, this is actually one that I have made a video on in the past. It's talking about Maine's flag change. And we have the common one that has a blue field and it has the 2 men and dirigo, and it's a little bit complicated, a moose, and you're not sure what else you're looking at without digging deeply. And then you have the more simple one that's on the buff banner with the pine tree and the star, the green pine tree and the blue star. And we're not digging into it, but personally, the buff flag with the green pine tree and the blue star are iconic. Already I've seen them on bumper stickers, hats, t-shirts, flags, backgrounds, all kinds of different things, stickers, and yada yada yada. It's iconic, and there's no other flag that looks like it. And Maine is not like any other state. It's going to cost some money to change the flag, but honestly, I think that in the long term, that can be something that can really brand us and make us as the state of Maine distinctive. When you think of California, or if you think of the bear on the red and white background, you think of California, it's Cali. So I do support having a flag that's more distinct and favoritive of the state of Maine. So those are the referendum questions. And as I explained before, I did want to dig more into who is running for Senate this year and who's running against him. So Susan Collins is not running for re-election this year. However, Angus King is. So Angus King, an independent, the incumbent senator, King is seeking his 3rd term. Although he runs as an independent, he caucuses with the Democrats. King has been known for his moderate stance, supporting issues like climate action, healthcare expanse, and government transparency. He has consistently advocated for bipartisan cooperation in Congress, which is all very touching, but I have done, I think, at least 3 videos digging into Angus King here in the state of Maine and his background, how much money he's making, and where it's all coming from. Angus King has guts to go. Leave. Like, no. And if you want to know why I'm coming down so hard, go watch those 3 videos. I can link them down below. No. And to be honest, I don't know much about who's running against him. And I'm not just going to vote for them because they're not Angus King, but Angus King is starting off on a very low pedestal for me. So it's not going to take much to convince me to vote for someone else. First up, we have David Castillo, a Democrat, a former Brunswick Town Council member and environmental advocate. Castillo's platform focuses on climate action, expanding healthcare, protecting reproductive rights, and reducing the influence of money in politics. He supports significant reform to campaign finance, term limits, and voting rights, including measures like automatic voter registration. He's a Democrat. I'm more center-right, but that doesn't mean I can't separate myself and see where you may be talking about some things that could be really beneficial. So, my car is still announcing. So I am willing to separate party lines from policies. So if he's a party member of the Democrat, but he has good policies, I am willing to waver and to come around. But I don't know much about him, and this is just a superficial dive, so we're not going to get much here. Number 3, we have Demi Husuanas. And I probably butchered that. I will work on it in future videos. Is a Republican, a former chair of the Maine Republican Party. Husuanas is running on a conservative platform, focusing on protecting unborn lives, addressing illegal immigration, and limiting government intervention in industries like Maine's lobster fishing. She has been a vocal critic of pandemic-related restrictions and has expressed concerns about election integrity. She's a Republican. I'm right-leaning. You might think that that's automatically how I would vote. It's not automatic, but to be honest, on a superficial look, those are things that I support, things that I can get behind, that I would vote for in a politician. This race is expected to be competitive, so I will be bringing you more information as time goes on, especially with King's strong independent following and the contrasting platforms of his opponents, and the fact that Angus King has never lost when he's run, so that is something noteworthy. Now lastly, before I wrap up this video, which if I can continue the pace I'm at, it will be a short video. I'm getting better. I am. We're going to talk about the Maine's U.S. House of Representatives. There are 2 key races. There are 2 key races happening in Maine, District 1 and District 2. In Maine's first congressional district, we have Shelley Pingree. She's an incumbent Democrat. Pingree has represented this district since 2009 and is running for re-election. She is known for her progressive stances, including support for environmental protection, reproductive rights, and healthcare reform. Pingree has consistently won her district, which leans strongly Democrat. Then you have Ronald Russell, who's a Republican running against Shelley Pingree. Russell, a defense contractor, won the Republican primary and will face off against Pingree. His campaign is expected to focus on reducing government regulation and promoting economic growth. Although the district's Democratic-leaning nature presents a challenge for his candidacy. In Maine's second congressional district, we have the incumbent Democrat Jared Golden. Golden has held the seat since 2019 and is a moderate Democrat. He has gained attention for his focus on rural issues, including healthcare access, economic development, and veterans affairs. Golden is known for his independent streak, including voting against some party line legislation, which, I have to hand it to him, is ballsy and good for the state. Running against Golden, we have Austin Terrio, who's a Republican. Terrio, a former NASCAR driver and Maine state representative, won the Republican primary. He is a strong supporter of Donald Trump and has been endorsed by the National Republican Congressional Committee. Terrio's campaign is focusing on issues like reducing taxes, securing the border, and supporting Maine's rural economy. These races are notable because Maine's 2nd District is considered a swing district, making it one of the more competitive houses in the country. Competitive House races in the country. So, there you have it. That's what we have on the ballot coming our way in November. It's daunting. It's a little bit overwhelming. But just stick with mainstream current, and I will bring it all down to bite-sized pieces so that it's easier to understand. Of course, go back and fact check. As I always say, don't just trust my word for it. I just could tell my nails are dirty. I got out of work. Yes, my nails are dirty. I'll clean them. I don't necessarily care about doing it for the video, but maybe I should. So, mainstream current and me, Drew Hoagland, I will keep doing the research, keep keeping my ear out to the wind of change here in the state of Maine, what's happening, and what it means for us coming up in November. And I am pretty excited because I'm almost near my 1-year mark of being here on YouTube. I did take about a 6-month hiatus, so it doesn't feel as genuine as it might otherwise. But still, a year ago, I was just starting up, planning, trying to articulate myself, filming, even if I wasn't releasing them. So the fact that I've continued doing it for a year and continued to make videos, I am proud of myself. I don't know if you are, but I am. With all that being said, I hope I've earned your subscription so that you'll tune in to see more about Maine state news and what's coming in the Maine election in November. And also we'll dig into some national news where it deals with the presidency, how it will impact and what it could mean for Maine, and just in general, focusing on Maine businesses, Maine tourism, and reasons to come here to Maine. So if I've earned your subscription, I hope you would go down below, hit like, subscribe. Most importantly, share this content so that it gets out to other people and that we can get a broader audience, because that's ultimately what I would really like. Having conversation from both sides is important. I look forward to hearing back from you down in the comments, and until next time, this is Drew Hoagland with Mainstream Current. Have a good day, y'all.